Hi, everybody. My name, of course, is Russ Lazaruk. I am a portfolio manager with a family office here in Victoria, BC. I have been in the wealth management industry for about 30 years now, predominantly with what we refer to as an IROC firm, or in the US would be referred to as a broker dealer. I moved to a family office about 2 years ago. The reason for the move was the family office that I joined sees the future as being a digital offering to high net worth, ultra high net worth families, with our roots being as a single family office, and seeing the road to expansion to being a multi-family office, being one totally enabled by the emerging fintech digital wealth management offerings that are out there. A few side trips on my career or homework assignments have been with some technology startups here in Victoria, one on the personalization side, but also a nascent fintech startup that is still very much in the startup stage. So an area of interest and passion for both myself and my firm here in Victoria.
Like as you said, you've been in wealth management a long time. Quite often when I talk about a robo-advisor, like, oh, you're changing how money's being invested. And I'm like, no, like the way money's invested isn't being disrupted. The way that wealth advice is being distributed is being disrupted. What's your view on that, Russ? Because you've managed money for a long time. Are we still managing money the same way, but just distributing it in a different way? And how does the customer perceive that?
I think that we're still managing money the same way. We're just automating the process. And that's really the difference. You mean automation is disrupting everything from manufacturing cars to ordering a taxi to wealth management, but also the back processes of actual asset management. If we separate asset management and wealth management, in the asset management space, we run what we refer to as quantamental portfolios, which are very much automated. And that allows firms to build capacity. And that's really what robo-advisors have done, is they've just automated that asset management process. The wealth management, the basics of wealth management remain the same. And again, they've managed to automate parts of that, the basic financial planning for the millennials or even the younger generations than that, as they come in and those simple questions that they have to build wealth. The questions and answers haven't changed. How you process and provide the answer has changed through automation and digitization.
And for your customer today, Russ, you said you're looking to build a digital family office. Do you think fundamentally, I mean, John just mentioned whether you've got $100 or $1 million, if that's all of your, well, not all of your money, but if that's the majority of your wealth, you obviously have the same desire to have it run in the same way. Is that fair to say? Like a family office is not million, it's tens or hundreds or billions, obviously. Do you think there's a differential between digitizing the customer experience for a family office?
I think that there is, because our services are more bespoke. Really, for our clients, I'll just touch back to what John said on the need for trust and confidence, because we're actually dealing with multi-generational wealth with much more complex needs. So that trust and confidence comes first and foremost. So as we build a digital platform, cybersecurity, things around those nature become critical. They have to know that they're in place, but also convenience has to be there at the same time. It can't be an impediment to them being able to access whatever they're after on our platform. For the retail, the more retail investor, access is probably more critical. To us, security is absolutely critical. It's number one. For them, ease of use is often what they think of first before they think of, oh yeah, is this secure?
And Russ, what are the strategies to address this gap? I think we've been talking about that, about automating, but do you think about, because question 3 is the solution, so we actually talk about what technologies and how we do this. But when you think about those strategies, obviously through your career in wealth management, but today thinking about that digital family office and the couple of years you've been building that, what are the strategies you've been using?
With the customer, for our actual client families, it really revolves around education, um, educating them on, how the systems work, all, just the nuts and bolts, the simplicity, but also educating them as to, which is not a stretch, is how this is going to make their life that much easier. But from an internal point of view, it's making sure that we are building the right systems and putting the right platforms in front of the clients, and beta testing some of them too. We've gone through a couple of different iterations on providers that some fit, some don't, and you have to beta test this as you go along. Get that feedback from your client families, or in a retail setting from your clients. And I think the best example of that, or most well-known example of that, is Microsoft, which for years would put out a beta product that had lots of bugs and was really up to the clients to fix it. We can't go to that extreme because we need to build that trust and confidence, but we need to get that ongoing feedback from clients. So it's an education process back and forth between us and the clients.
I think you're right, Russ. You can't really put out, hey, here's your wealth product. It's got lots of bugs. It doesn't really work.
No,
you don't know where your money is.
Doesn't work, but where the clients
may or may not be your balance.
Yeah,
is where you're getting their feedback and saying, is this working for you? And that's the question. Does this particular portal setup, or this service that we're offering, does it work for you? Is it adding value to what we do?
Russ, maybe starting with you in terms of what are you actually building as you build this kind of family office digital ecosystem?
From the very basic point of view, a lot of the services, the online access, things like that, are provided by our custodians. So that's kind of an easy one for us. I think where it gets more interesting is that we use a financial planning and wealth management tool that actually is interactive with the clients. And that's where we look to being able to build. We're also building using some of the Microsoft suite of tools under that Microsoft's actually doing a pretty good job of building out on, to build interactive analysis for our clients. It varies from family to family. Some families are very hands-on and want to delve in and know how the car is built. Other families are, there's keys, you be the chauffeur, drive it. But we want to be able to build those analytics in there using things such as Power BI, Power Automate, things like that. It gets more interesting on the financial planning, estate planning issues, where it becomes interactive, and the clients can actually go in and do their own visioning and things like that. And that starts again. That goes back to the other part of the value question, where we're stepping away from the actual asset management to what's truly important to you. What are those goals? How, and if you change that goal and you change this, how's it going to change the final outcome, and what's, how, and if the next generation wants to do something different, if they can actually be interactive with that and see the numbers change as they play with it online, it adds a lot of value to them and makes our job easier, because we get a much clearer idea of where to drive the bus.
So look, we're coming towards the end. We are wrapping up. I'd like to maybe summarize each of these, not each of these points, but we know, I think even 5 years ago when I started Bamboo, in the first 2 years, when I used to pitch Robo, people were like, or financial institutions were like, oh, I don't know if it'll ever work. I don't think people are going to go digital. Today, that debate's finished. The debate is, how is it happening? What's it going to be? So I think we all agree on that. Maybe Russ, going to you first. What's your summary? What do you think's going to be the most important points over the next few years in the whole digital wealth scene?
Good question. I think there's probably more coming than we realize. Like things will come up that we didn't expect. But I think at the moment, trust and confidence is number one as we start to build this out. I mean, it really is key. The younger generations may get enticed by a Robinhood and gamification, but as they carry on down their life's journey, trust and confidence will become key. And next to that is just improving accessibility, just making it easier, both from a technical point of view, user interface, and just continuing to expand.